Good day, and welcome to this episode of 10th Ward TV, presented by Our Neighborhood Times, a community newspaper that services the 10th Ward. In our continuing effort to promote the voice of this community, this show will identify individuals, organizations, and events within our community that we feel go above and beyond to continue the growth and prosperity of our neighborhood and our ward. And what better way to start this series than to speak with the Alderman of the 10th Ward, John Pope. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us today, Mr.
Thank
Pope.
you, Sam. Thank you, and the Our Neighborhood Times as well for having me.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Alderman, I feel the best way to start is, I'm sure there's certain viewers out there who don't exactly know what an alderman's duties are and what their responsibilities are. Can you take a few moments and explain that to the audience for us, please?
Sure, I can. An alderman is an elected official. Here in the city of Chicago, we have 50 of them, 50, and we're elected to 4-year terms, similar to what the mayor, treasurer, and city clerk are elected to. And we represent the different areas throughout the city. We pass legislation in the city council. We debate such issues as property taxes and employment. All zoning issues are put before the alderman. And we meet approximately every other month to discuss these items in committee meetings and council meetings.
Okay, so what are the boundaries of the 10th Ward?
Well, the 10th Ward is located on the far southeast side of the city, and it's best known to be the area of the former steel mills, U.S. Steel, Wisconsin Steel, Republic Steel. But generally, it's the city border on the south, the Indiana-Illinois border on the east, 83rd Street on the north, and the Bishop Ford Expressway on the west side. And it includes the neighborhoods of Hegewisch, East Side, South Chicago, Jeffrey Manor, South Daring, and Vets Park.
Well, that seems like quite a large area to cover as the alderman. Do you have any other jobs that you do besides being the alderman of the 10th Ward?
You know, I don't. Some other aldermen have other positions. Some are attorneys, some are active with lobbying. I am not. I feel that the 10th Ward aldermanic position is a full-time position. As you just mentioned, it's a large geographic area, right, and we have many different communities and different challenges, so I've devoted my entire career, I should say, or at least my job to this. I don't have any other interests other than being a good alderman.
Great. So you mentioned city council meetings and other things that you do downtown. How often do you attend city council meetings, and what committees do you happen to be a member of?
Great question. The City Council meets approximately once a month, usually on a Wednesday, and at those meetings we discuss everything from, again, legislation regarding property taxes and housing and police and education. I sit on various committees, and committees are subsets, including various aldermen who look at items in greater detail, legislation. So I sit on the Committee of Finance, Budget and Government Operations, Environment, Economic Development, and Rules and Ethics.
So as you know, one of the main focuses of Our Neighborhood Times is to break down a larger aspect of what's going on in the city and the nation and bringing it down to a hyper-local feel. The committees that you are a member of, what do, I'm also a resident of the 10th Ward.
Yes, you are.
What do those committees do for me as a resident? Just to name a few.
Well, first of all, they give you an opportunity to appear before the committee and express your opinion either for or against an issue. For example, landfills have been prominent in the southeast side in the 10th Ward, and several years ago we had a spirited debate about whether landfills should continue to operate in the southeast side in the entire city. At that committee hearing on that, the general public got to speak before the committee and go on record as either supporting or opposing the expansion of landfills. Not just expressing your opinion, but learning about what information is out there to make a good decision on the issue at hand. So it's a chance for the public to put their input into the process. It's also a chance for us as the aldermen, who may not be experts on the various issues that we confront, to be educated by the public and the people who are more expert at those topics.
So obviously you work not only at the municipal level, but you have to work at the community level, which would definitely involve organizations. How do you work with the organizations of our community to improve things that are going on in our ward?
Well, I think that's been one of the best things about our office. Since I've been in office since 1999, we've focused on trying to maintain good communications with the various organizations. We made mention of how large the ward is geographically, and it's very diverse too. We've got various environmental areas, industrial areas, residential and retail, so there's a need to communicate very succinctly with the different groups. As a result, we've established good working relationships with the East Side Chamber of Commerce, the Hegewisch Chamber of Commerce, South Chicago Chamber of Commerce, all the chambers, including the industrial commissions, the non-for-profit organizations, those in the neighborhood like the YMCAs, like the South Daring Senior Group, like the Hegewisch Community Committee, and like organizations citywide here like CANTV, who has been a good supporter of all aldermen and all people in the city in order to offer them great opportunity to get the word out on public television.
And as an elected official, how do you make yourself available to constituents such as myself or anybody else that wants to visit with you?
Again, I think we pride ourselves on being very accessible. Among other things, our office is always open from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Our phone number is 773-721-1999. In addition to just being open, we have ward night or open office hours every first and third Monday of the month. Those are standing days where the public can come in and meet directly with me in a one-on-one setting, and very confidential setting, to talk about anything that may be on their mind, whether it's a zoning issue, a personal issue with finances, a housing issue, an employment issue. We do that the first and third of each month. And we also have a website, we have Facebook, we communicate via fax, email. We have what we call a hot list, and we have approximately 200 organizations that if there's information out there, we zap it out to them via email or fax, and obviously we use the local newspapers like yours, Our Neighborhood Times, to put PSAs, public service announcements, to keep people informed. And we attend and put on quite a few meetings so that the community can become accessible to what's happening in the community.
Right. How do you feel the community is embracing the openness of the office and all of the opportunities that they have to actually communicate with you?
You know, I think it's fairly well taken. People know when our meetings are. We publicize it through the churches, through the schools, through the neighborhood organizations. We encourage the churches and those organizations to mention to their memberships during meetings. We ask them to post it on their windows, on their bulletin boards. So I think generally we get a good response. We try to produce those meetings or put those meetings on at times that are convenient to the public, usually during the evenings. A lot of people have to work, so we want to make sure we get as good as attendance as possible. And we do it at locations where there's accessible parking, accessibility for the handicapped, and where people feel comfortable, like the local churches and schools.